Let me ask you something. If every version of you that tried to fit in, the one that played nice, stayed quiet, chased validation, disappeared right now, what would be left? Most people spend their lives becoming a stranger to themselves, smiling when they want to scream, agreeing when they want to walk away, all for one thing: approval. But what if needing approval is the very thing destroying your confidence, your peace, and your power? Michel de Montaigne believed that the moment you stop caring about what others think, life begins to open. And in the next few minutes, you'll understand why letting go, not fighting harder, is how everything finally falls into place. Like the man who spent years perfecting his resume, climbing the corporate ladder, dressing the part, saying the right words. He never missed a day, but every Sunday night, his chest would tighten. He thought it was ambition. It was emptiness. He didn't hate his life. He just wasn't in it. Think about it. How much of your stress and frustration comes from trying to meet expectations that don't even belong to you? How often do you hold yourself back because you fear being judged? How much of your energy is wasted on things that, when you step back, really don't matter in the big picture? Montaigne's philosophy teaches us a simple but powerful lesson. The more we let go of outside expectations, the more we connect with our true selves. He believed that life is full of surprises, perfection isn't real, and that accepting who we are is the wisest thing we can do. But here's where many people misunderstand. Not caring doesn't mean being lazy, careless, or unmotivated. It doesn't mean hiding away from life or avoiding responsibilities. It means releasing the constant need for approval, letting go of the fear of rejection, and breaking free from the exhausting habit of overthinking everything you do. It means living life your way, being present, and realizing you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Montaigne spent a lot of time thinking about why people behave the way they do. He saw that many are trapped by their own thoughts, stuck in cycles of worry, doubt, and insecurity. He wondered why we let other people's opinions control our choices, why we try to hold on to things when life is always changing, and why we chase after a version of success that isn't even ours. Most importantly, he asked, what would happen if we stopped caring about these things? When you stop worrying about being perfect, you start to embrace your imperfections. When you stop seeking approval from others, you begin living for yourself. And when you stop trying to control everything, you create space for life to happen as it is meant to. Here's the interesting part. The less you focus on proving yourself, the more powerful you become. Think about the most confident and magnetic people you've met. Are they the ones always trying to gain approval, over-explaining, and worrying about being liked? Or are they the ones who seem calm, not troubled by small things, and are just themselves without apology? Montaigne discovered this truth long before modern psychology confirmed it. People are naturally drawn to those who are real. When you stop seeking approval, when you accept your flaws and trust yourself, you naturally become more attractive, not just in social situations, but in every area of life. Once you let go of the fear of failure or judgment, you gain something even more important: freedom. The freedom to take chances without overthinking. The freedom to speak your mind without second-guessing. The freedom to simply be yourself without measuring your worth based on other people's opinions. But here's where it gets even more interesting. When you stop worrying about things that don't matter, not only do you find peace, but your life starts to improve. Your relationships become more real and meaningful. Opportunities appear effortlessly. Making decisions becomes easier because they come from what you truly want, not from what you feel you should want. This is the core of Montaigne's philosophy. He believed that much of our suffering comes from fighting against reality, trying to force life to fit into a shape that doesn't work. But when you stop resisting and let go, everything begins to fall into place. Think about this. How many times have you held back from speaking your truth because you were scared of what others might think? How often do you find yourself replaying conversations in your mind, wondering how you were seen? How much of your life has been shaped by expectations that weren't even your own. Montaigne encourages us to move beyond these self-imposed limits. He challenges us to welcome uncertainty, to accept that no one is perfect, and to stop letting fear control our choices. And this is just the beginning. As we explore his philosophy further, we will discover practical ways to put this mindset into action in your own life. Ways that will help you break through mental blocks, make decisions with confidence, and truly experience the freedom that comes from letting go. Michel de Montaigne's philosophy isn't just a theory, it's a helpful guide to changing how you experience the world. Now, let's go a step further. What happens when you really adopt this way of thinking? What changes when you stop seeking approval, stressing over every possible outcome, and letting fear control your actions? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that most of the pressures you've been feeling weren't even real, that the rules you've been trying to follow, the expectations you've been trying to meet, and the fears that have kept you stuck were all illusions created by society, conditioning, and your own mind. A woman spent 5 years trying to become the perfect version of herself, journaling, meditating, controlling every word she said. One morning, she looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back. She hadn't failed. She had lost herself in the performance. Montaigne knew that humans are naturally anxious. We overthink everything, try to predict the future, and struggle with uncertainty. But what if the key to happiness is not about solving every problem, but instead accepting that some things are simply beyond our control? One of Montaigne's most powerful teachings is this: the world will never fully understand you, and that's perfectly fine. Think about this. How often do we spend so much energy trying to explain ourselves, defend our choices, or prove our worth to people who might never truly understand us? We hold back our true thoughts to avoid disagreements. We hide our real desires to blend in. We keep searching outside ourselves for approval, when the only kind that truly matters is the approval we give ourselves. Montaigne believed that a lot of our pain comes from caring too much about things that don't help us. He saw how people get tangled up in small worries, holding on to anger, fears, and doubts that don't actually make their lives better. But when you step back, you start to see that many of these worries don't matter in the big picture. Have you ever noticed that when you stop stressing over a problem, a solution just seems to appear? Or when you stop trying so hard for someone's attention, they suddenly become more interested in you? This isn't just a random thing. It reveals a deeper truth. When you let go, life begins to flow naturally. The issue is, many people resist this idea. They think that if they stop caring, they will lose their drive. That letting go means giving up. But that's a misunderstanding. Not caring doesn't mean being lazy or indifferent. It means shifting your attention to what really matters and letting go of the extra weight of worries that don't help you. Montaigne encouraged us to accept imperfection, not just in ourselves, but in the world around us. He knew that trying to control everything is exhausting and endless. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how hard we plan or try to make things go our way, some things will always be out of our control. So why not accept this truth? Why not understand that mistakes, failures, and unknowns are just part of life? Imagine how much easier it would feel if you stopped trying to control every little thing in your life. If you stopped overthinking every choice. If you stopped fearing failure and instead saw it as a normal part of your path. Montaigne reminds us that every great thinker, leader, and artist has faced failure, rejection, and misunderstanding. But they didn't let these things define them. They kept going, not bothered by what others thought, because they knew that true success isn't about getting approval from others. It's about living in a way that's true to yourself. And here's the fascinating part. When you adopt this mindset, people start to notice. You become more confident, more attractive, and more in charge of your own life. Not because you're forcing things to happen, but because you're no longer wasting energy on things that don't matter. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to succeed without effort, while others work hard and struggle? The difference isn't always talent, smarts, or hard work. It's in their mindset. Those who succeed understand that letting go of unnecessary worries lets them focus on what truly matters. Montaigne's wisdom shows us that the more we let go, the more we gain. When we stop being afraid of failing, we start taking more chances. When we stop trying to get approval, we become more true to ourselves. When we stop trying to control everything, we create room for unexpected chances to appear. This is why the philosophy of not caring, when understood the right way, isn't about giving up. It's about gaining freedom. It's about deciding where to focus your energy, paying attention only to what truly matters, and not allowing distractions to take up your time or mind. Think about your own life for a moment. How much stress do you feel because you worry about what others think? How many times have you held back from doing something you really wanted because you were scared of being judged? How often do you keep replaying mistakes from the past in your head, thinking that worrying about them will somehow fix them? Montaigne's approach helps us break free from these thoughts. He reminds us that the past is gone, the future is unknown, and the only thing we really have is the present. And when you start living in this way, everything changes. But there's still more to discover. In the next part, we'll look at a surprising truth: how letting go, instead of making us lonely, can actually bring us closer to others in a deeper and more meaningful way. Here's an interesting twist in life. The moment you stop needing something, it often comes to you without effort. When you stop seeking approval, people start to respect you more. When you stop being afraid of failure, new chances appear. And when you stop trying to control everything, life starts to flow in ways you didn't expect. This is one of the most powerful lessons in Montaigne's philosophy. Detachment isn't about avoiding life. It's a way to feel more satisfied and fulfilled. By releasing the need to force things, you make space for life to unfold naturally. And by doing this, you'll start to feel something truly special: peace, strength, and connection. But here's the big question. If letting go is so powerful, why do most people find it so hard to accept? The answer is simple. We've been taught to think that control equals safety. We've been told that if we try hard enough, plan well enough, and worry enough, we can make the world bend to our will. But Montaigne reminds us that this is a false belief. No matter how much we try to control, we can't erase uncertainty. No amount of planning can stop the unexpected, and no amount of worrying can change what's already happening. Instead of fighting against life, he suggests we accept it just as it is, with all its surprises, flaws, and messiness. Think about your friendships and family. How many times have conflicts happened because someone expected something that wasn't met? How much pain comes from wanting others to act or think in a certain way? How often do we try to control how others feel or behave, only to feel upset, let down, or hurt? Montaigne understood that true connection doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from accepting them. The more you let people be who they are without trying to change them or force them into your ideas, the deeper and more honest your relationships will be. That's why people who practice detachment often find themselves surrounded by more love, respect, and appreciation. They don't suffocate others with demands or expectations. They don't need constant approval. They simply live in a peaceful confidence, letting others come and go as they wish. And strangely, this makes them more admired, more respected, and more valued. Have you ever noticed that the people who desperately want attention often end up getting less, and that those who are content with themselves naturally attract others? This is the power of letting go. Montaigne believed that the way we treat others reflects how we treat ourselves. If we are always seeking approval, it shows that we haven't fully accepted ourselves. If we're afraid of being alone, it means we haven't learned to enjoy our own company. If we need others to act in a certain way to feel safe, it shows we haven't built our own inner strength. But when you start focusing on yourself, when you stop trying to control others, stop being afraid of being by yourself, and stop measuring your value by what others think, that's when you truly become free. Think about it. How much of your energy goes into reacting to what others say or do? How often do you let someone else's words spoil your mood? How many times have you held on to anger, resentment, or disappointment, only to realize later that it didn't help at all? Montaigne teaches us that true peace comes from within, not from others' approval. Once you realize this, everything about how you live changes. Imagine going through your day not shaken by what people say. Imagine facing challenges without fear. Imagine being able to love and appreciate people without feeling the need to control them. This happens when you stop caring about things that don't really matter. And here's the key. Letting go doesn't mean pulling away from life. It doesn't mean becoming uncaring or emotionless. It means engaging with life fully, but without holding on too tight, without worrying about everything, and without trying to make everything go your way. Montaigne's philosophy is about balance. It's about caring deeply for the things that truly matter, your values, your purpose, and your inner peace, while letting go of the things that drain you and don't bring anything useful. So think about it. What are you holding on to that no longer helps you? What fears, expectations, or attachments are weighing you down? And what would happen if you let them go? As we reach the last part of this journey, we'll discover why embracing uncertainty, flaws, and detachment doesn't just bring peace, but also leads to a life filled with more meaning, success, and happiness. By now, you might be asking, if letting go is so powerful, why don't more people practice it? Why do so many continue to be stuck in the endless cycle of worry, seeking approval, and trying to control everything? The answer is fear. Fear of what might happen if we let go, fear of failing, and fear of what the world might look like if we stop managing every part of our lives. Society has taught us that if we release control, everything will fall apart. But the truth is, when we stop caring about the things that don't really matter, everything starts to fall into place. Montaigne's philosophy isn't about being careless. It's about wisdom. He shows us that by letting go of unnecessary worries, we gain clarity. When we release control, we become free. And when we embrace uncertainty, we open the door to a life filled with deeper meaning and happiness. Think about the best moments of your life, the ones that truly mattered. Were they planned out perfectly, or did they happen when you least expected them? Some of the most wonderful things in life can't be forced. Love, creativity, inspiration, and even success, they often come when you stop chasing them, when you allow space for them to unfold naturally. Think of the artist who no longer worries about whether their work will be accepted, and as a result, creates something incredible. The entrepreneur who stops fearing failure, takes brave risks, and changes an entire industry. The person who stops desperately looking for love, and, in the process of accepting themselves, meets the right person without effort. This is one of life's greatest paradoxes. The more you try to hold on to something, the more likely it is to slip through your fingers. The tighter you grip, the more it seems to escape. But strangely, the things you are willing to release, the things you let go of, trusting that they will find their way back, often return in ways far greater than you ever imagined. It's as though life rewards us for letting go, for surrendering our need for control, and trusting that what is meant for us will find its way back. We don't have to force it. We simply have to be open to receiving it in whatever form it may come. Montaigne speaks to this truth when he reminds us that life is not meant to be a constant battle. Yes, challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties will inevitably arise. They are part of the human experience. But when we fight against them, when we resist, struggle, or obsess over them, we only compound our suffering. The more we focus on trying to control everything, the more we lose our peace. Montaigne suggests a different approach, one of flow, of embracing life as it comes. Rather than fighting the current, we learn to move with it, to ride its waves instead of bracing against them. In doing so, we learn to laugh at the absurdities life throws at us and find joy, even amidst the chaos. This perspective invites us to shift from a place of struggle to a place of ease, because here lies the ultimate realization. True happiness does not come from controlling every aspect of life or from achieving perfection. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone, and you certainly don't need to fear uncertainty. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable, and it is this unpredictability that makes it so full of beauty and possibility. When we accept the uncertainty, we open ourselves to the infinite opportunities that it brings. Instead of trying to force outcomes, we learn to embrace the ebb and flow, trusting that life's unpredictability is what allows us to grow, change, and experience the wonder of existence. When you stop seeking approval from others, something incredible happens. You start to feel truly confident. It's no longer about how others perceive you or what they think of your choices. The approval you once sought outside now comes from within. You trust your own decisions, your own journey, and in doing so, you free yourself from the constant pressure to meet external expectations. This is where real confidence blooms, not in seeking validation, but in embracing who you are, flaws and all. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Your worth isn't contingent on anyone else's opinion. The same applies to failure. When you stop fearing failure, you unlock a new level of resilience. Failure no longer feels like a roadblock. It becomes a stepping stone, an essential part of the journey. You stop seeing failure as something to avoid and instead see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. When you no longer fear the possibility of falling, you become unstoppable. Nothing can hold you back because you no longer see setbacks as defeats, but as valuable lessons in disguise. You develop the courage to try, to fail, and to rise again, stronger each time. And then there's control. Life doesn't need to be micromanaged, and when you stop trying to control every little detail, you create space for something truly magical to unfold. Magic doesn't thrive in rigid, controlled environments. It needs freedom, room to breathe, and room to surprise you. The more you allow life to unfold naturally, the more you invite unexpected joys and blessings into your world. It's in letting go of the need to orchestrate every moment that you open the door to serendipity, to new possibilities that you could never have planned for or imagined. This is the wisdom Montaigne understood centuries ago. He knew that true wisdom isn't about trying to conquer life or force everything into a neat box. It's about learning to dance with it, to flow with the rhythm of life, to move with its ups and downs rather than against them. Life is a dance, not a battle. The more you embrace its unpredictability, the more you discover its beauty. So, as you move forward, ask yourself, what can you let go of today? What weight have you been carrying that no longer serves you, whether it's doubt, fear, or the burden of perfection? Consider the things that hold you back and ask if they truly belong in your life anymore. And then imagine what your life could look like if you simply trusted that things will fall into place. What if you let go of the need to control and just allowed life to surprise you? The beauty of letting go is that you give yourself the freedom to experience the world in all its messy, wonderful unpredictability. And in that freedom, you'll find magic. When you stop focusing on the things that don't matter, the things that truly matter will come to you. That's the real strength of Montaigne's philosophy.